I'm going to give you some numbers that I just got from Evan Korn, who is the top ranked publicist out in London. On two of the three scorecards, Anthony Yard was up. On the Jim Lim scorecard, he was up 68 to 65. That's a 3-round difference. Then Robin Taylor was 67-66 in favor of Beterbiev. And then it was Jerome Ladies who
Definitely scored, so I can get my, the appropriate.
But can you give him 5 out of the 7 rounds like one of the judges did?
You definitely couldn't do that. I think Beterbiev.
No. I can't give him 5 rounds. I maybe give him 3, maybe 4.
I think 3-4 either way. Like 3-4 was where I was.
1 round.
Yes,
He did.
As they break down the prediction of how the judges had the Artur Beterbiev and Anthony Yard fight. And it was expressed that Anthony Yard was winning the fight on 2 of the judges' scorecards. Now, the strange thing about that was I didn't see any huge dominant rounds from Anthony. I know, and I'm like Timothy Bradley. I know that Timothy Bradley, I'm with him, that Anthony won the first round, right? I think he won the first round. But every round after that, I know there's a such thing as swing rounds. Maybe they're looking at it like that. But, you could clearly see, because I just watched the fight again, all 8 rounds. And I clearly seen that Artur Beterbiev, even though Yard would land a good shot here or there, the bulk of that fight was won by Artur and his aggression, his relentlessness, his accuracy. Okay, he was doing a lot of things in there that Yard wasn't doing, just based on experience. Even when those type of reactions from the crowd, because we know this was a pro-UK crowd. This was, definitely they were pro-Yard and they wanted Yard to win. They were supporting Yard. Every time Yard would land something huge or big or really anything at all, the crowd would go ballistic, but even after that, there was no real true follow-up. Meaning, yes, he would land a good shot. He might get a body punch in after that a couple seconds later. But it was never like Artur Beterbiev landing crisp, hard, thumping left hooks and right crosses, especially all of that corner beating that he took from Beterbiev. Beterbiev put punches together, and they were short, choppy punches, just what he's known for, and they possess a lot of power. And you seen that took away from Yard round after round. But then let's look at it in reality, okay? The reality is you got a fighter that was 18-0 with no losses, no draws, 18 by knockout. That tells you he doesn't go or anticipate any type of decision whatsoever. He's coming in to destroy or submit his fighter, his opponent. And obviously that had to happen, because if this fight would have continued the way it was, without any knockdowns, without anything else, Anthony Yard would have robbed Artur Beterbiev. And taking nothing away from Anthony Yard, he did one hell of a job. But the reason why you do have to give him acknowledgement and respect, because he was definitely taking a lot of punishment from the more experienced, older, harder hitting Beterbiev. Artur was ripping shots and he did what he needed to do. But it just shows you, though, that if you're in the wrong place or you're not at home, you can get robbed. That's what it's showing. You could get the short end of the stick based on where you're fighting, because this looked like it could definitely be some home cooking. Yeah, this definitely looked like it could have been Anthony Yard's night because of his bravery, and he did enough. He did convince the judges, like, hey, this is what it could have been. But then were the judges convinced by the crowd that he was doing more than he was actually doing? That is also a possibility, people. Because believe it or not, judges are still human. And they're human, and they are persuaded by the influence. The influence was what? The crowd. The crowd represents the energy. The energy represented the people that were watching the fight along with the judges. Okay? So, at the very end of the day, Artur Beterbiev was almost robbed. You guys tell me what you think of Artur Beterbiev losing on 2 out of 3 of the scorecard by Anthony Yarde before stopping Anthony Yarde. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.